And now, without further ado, I have the distinguished honor and privilege of presenting to you the Queen of Color, the Mother of Artists, globally acclaimed, award-winning master acrylic artist, and the star of our show, Ginger Cook, as she once again mesmerizes her audience with the daring do's and don'ts of painting with acrylic. And cueing Ginger. I cued you.
All right, does that mean
Ginger.
we're on and live and Judy's Judy's at the end. We did our Sammy intro.
Yeah.
All right, hey everybody, I want to welcome you guys to our live show this Sunday afternoon. We thought it would be nice to do Sundays because so many of our friends overseas never get to see the live shows, and we're going to be doing a giveaway this show, and sometimes with and we're doing it where we can send it to anybody. You know what I mean? So I don't care if you live in Sweden or Russia or Canada or Australia. If you win, we'll mail it to you. Okay? So that's when I do one of those 10-minute paintings. We're going to do that sometime during the show, but you do have to be present to win. Okay? If you're not here when we announce the winner or have the contest, then it'll go to somebody else. So that's just kind of our thing. And I want to apologize again for you guys that are watching this later that did not get to see the live show. It's just part of the perks of being a live audience. Sometimes we try to do that. We don't do it every time, but I think it's kind of fun. So tonight I want to just say, this afternoon, I want to say that we've got a nice crowd out there. We appreciate our moderators. John Little is our coordinator and also answering some of your questions, running all the camera feeds. And also, John, who's on today as far as our moderators?
I see Wendy, Mona, Tanya, Kim Sim. Looks like the gang's here.
All right, so thank you very much. You guys, you may not know this, but they volunteer to do this, and we really appreciate it.
And we're going to give them a raise.
I know, and so great. So this is fun, right? So we're going to have a good time today. We're doing an 8x10 canvas. Don't worry if you can't paint it right when I do. Just enjoy the experience and then come back and watch the video again and paint it. That might probably put less stress, and you can enjoy some of the chat features. And also, our moderators are very aware that you have questions. If you type them in all caps, we're more likely to see them. I personally don't see anything. They have to tell me, so the questions will be relayed to me. All right, that being started, John, can we...
That being stated, not started.
Oh, so true.
Going to be one of those days.
Well, I'm on cough medicine. It's hard to say if the brain's even working today, right? I mean, who knows what's in that stuff. This is like month 2 of the cough, Unbelievable. Yeah. So this is I just thought this would be fun to do. We're doing this little Tuscan garden. And I read a comment. If you're a member of our Facebook Acrylic Club, you'll get to see the insiders, inside stuff from not only all the artists that are playing and seeing what your friends are doing and your new friends are going to be doing, because they're all going to become your friends, see? But you'll get insights from me, and also you'll get a preview of what's coming up. And somebody had commented and said, this looks a little out of my league. I'm just at a painting party stage. Well, maybe. That's okay. We have a lot of beginner tutorials. This is a 2 cookie. But I'm going to challenge you. See if you just can't follow along with directions. You'd be surprised what you can do if you don't jump ahead and really listen carefully and then just do what I tell you to do. I think you might be very surprised how well these come out, okay? Just a thought here, friends. Just a thought. So...
Wait, we have an important notice.
Oh, notice?
He's starting already picking on our gal. That's all right, though. And then number 2, Ginger, your hair looks wonderful.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate it very much. Coughing.
No coughing.
All right, so now I started with an 8x10 canvas, and we've got a dried yellow thing here, okay?
Yellow.
And we're going to talk about boxes. Again, so many things are either, if people say they don't draw, but you learn drawing when you learn handwriting, okay? When you can print and stuff and learn circles and boxes and squares, pretty much learned how to draw. Now, your job as an interpreter of the drawing language is to figure out what of those things you already know and where they go. Did you know, for instance, if you were going to try to learn French and you speak English, did you know that there's over 4,000 words in French and English that are the same? They just say them different. Anything with Tion is also French and English. In fact, French was almost by one vote the language of the United States, the official language of the United States. And the reason that being is that in governments back then, French was always spoken in courts, like English court. They always spoke French. That was their universal language, not English. Interesting to know, right? So, and I want to say the same thing to you as far as drawing goes. That you've got if you've got all the letters of the alphabet and you can write them in longhand and freehand, and goodness knows if you can do Arabic or Chinese, you're way ahead of everybody. You already have shapes. Now you just have to decide where those shapes go in your picture because you already know how to do them. I mean, really, honestly, that's all it is shapes. So let's take a minute about this house, this little door we're going to do. We're going to start with the rectangle, okay? There, that's pretty easy, right? And I'll give you the measurements, okay? Now we know that that we need a step for the door. So we'll come up like that. And we know we need a side piece for the door, okay? Like that, the kind of the side wall. Now here's the trick. Oh. And we know we need it to curve. Oh, how cool is that? And probably make this a little thinner to make this kind of in proportion. Make that a little thinner. But there you go, you guys. I mean, that really wasn't very hard, was it? When you really just broke it down into this? Because this side of the wall, we're just looking at it from this angle, and we've got a kind of a path coming this way in our picture. See? And this whole arch is here, and we're doing this. But we're covering all that with the tree, so if you don't get that perfect, it's okay too. I'm going to cover it with something.
Just put in more flowers.
Put in more flowers. But basically, you see this line, the main thing I'm saying is that these lines are straight across. It's a slight angle, but this is at an angle here like that. See that? See that angle there? That's the one, right? Okay, so now and this is straight across. I mean, really, there's nothing to this. Now you can go, oh. And I mean, surely you can splotch on a bunch of flowers. I mean, how hard is that? I've showed you that a bunch of times. All right, so let's just start with our measuring thing. And let's come over about, I don't know, what is this, 2 3/4 inches, like from the edge here, and put a dot. And I want to come up from the bottom of the canvas about 1 3/4 inches. Was that right? Let me just get my glasses on. It's hard for me. All right, what is this? Yeah, it's 1 3/4 inches. Look at that. 1 3/4 inches, right there. I guess right there. That's my dot. Just all right. So I'm going to say that I've got a wall that's starting here, and then I'm going to say my top of my door is what? I don't know, Ginger, it's your picture. Yeah, true. Where did we start this? Where did we say the top of the door was? Right about here. It's just, let's just make it 6 inches. It wasn't kind of short of 6 inches, but we're going to say 6 inches, right? Okay. Now, do we have any triangles floating around or T-squares, John?
You had a T-square towards the front of you.
I did?
To the front on the right.
On the right? I did?
Yeah.
Really? Where? They're translucent, so once they get into the collage of the camouflage of all the junk here on the desk, it's anybody's guess where they are. You think so?
Yeah, they were.
They were, but they're not now. Do you have a triangle for me? I want to try. If I had a triangle, I could make this work. Or I could just keep measuring. But it's so much easier to have a triangle, right? I'm just going to come up here like this and say, here's my door. Okay. How wide do I want to make this while he's looking for me? Oh, I guess we're going to make this 2.5 inches wide. Okay. All right, and this part of the door is 1 3/4 inches wide. That's how wide this is. That's about 1.75 inches. All right, so this is coming. I want this to be kind of at a little bit of an angle, not quite straight across, but my door is going to be up from that about 1 inch, and then it's going to come here like this. And then we're going to have our arch come like this. And there's our door. And this has got to be straight here. Make this a little wider. Okay, basically there's our door. And something's doing this. And we're bringing this down here like this. There's our step. John's looking for all this stuff, and you don't see it at all, do you?
I don't see either one of them.
Isn't that funny? We have, I have dozens of triangles and dozens of stuff. It just disappears. We got to watch that bear, Sammy. He takes stuff in the middle of the night. I swear.
The dog go crazy.
It's just like Ferris Bueller's Day Off in the studio when we're not around. Things just disappear. Does that happen to you, right? Now let's make sure that from the top of the canvas down, I'm at the right height here too. I want to come down about 2.5 inches from the top. I'm going to lower this just a bit. I got a little bit high. There we go. Lower that just a hair. And then I want to come above it. This is just kind of a rough log here that's coming above it, just a tiny bit above this, and goes this way. Really, this is all the drawing that's on this picture.
You're going to have to measure today, kiddo.
Huh?
You're going to have to measure it.
Well, I did, but I can't believe there's no triangles. How about over there in that corner? Isn't there some triangles anywhere?
Nope.
Well, I've got some in Studio A. Can't believe there's no triangles or things. Note to self, order like 6 more T-squares. Because, this is silly. This is dumb that we don't have them. The reason I like them is that it guarantees you a straight line. That's all right. All right, so you probably don't have one either, so we're just going to suffer together, right? All right. Yeah. John's going to go look in the other studio. I want to just double check the measurement, show you why you want one. Meantime, let's put out our colors. Let's not let the small stuff get us down here. Here's the white paint we're putting on. Pretty much the palette Ginger always uses. One trick, you guys put the white right in front of you. You don't always see me do that, but when I'm painting for myself, I do. Because I'm always going to use that. The white's always in front of me. I'm going to use a little yellow oxide. It's yellow ochre for some people, depending on your brand of paint. And that was the background color for this. And John's off. If anybody's asking any questions, he can't see them because he's off getting me something. And then we're going to take Cad Yellow Medium. I'm using heavy body acrylic paints, kind of a combination of golden and Matisse. Going to put a little Dazzling Purple out, just on GP. I always use that. I love that color. And see, we have the Titanium White out. Yeah, okay. And then we want Ultramarine Blue. Did you find anything over there?
I found the old T-square and a triangle.
And a triangle. Look at that. So we bought 2 of these. You can tell this is mine because it's got paint all over it. Here's why you want a T-square. You can hold it right here like this, right? You hook that on your canvas, right? And now look, I was straight up and down, but if you're not, look, I've got paint all over my hand now because I was in the blue. But all right, well, this is how it goes for me, right? All right. See, now I was straight, but if I wasn't, right? I could then just take the line here like this. Maybe I'll take a pink piece of chalk so you can see it. And just make sure I have some straight lines. This is, my lines were straight, but maybe this is just takes the guesswork out of it. And the T-squares come in all sizes, okay? T-squares come in all sizes, and so they're really nice to use. A triangle will work the same way. What you do is you put the triangle up like this at the top. Line that up, and then see, and then this line has to be straight. So triangles are handy too. And they're good for large paintings when you don't necessarily want, you can use any edge. So just some things that you might want to know that you didn't as we're moving along. Thank you so much, John, for getting that. I know that was a pain. I always think of these things right in the middle of the show. But in all fairness, it's just been, a thing getting over this cold, It just has been, getting better, but I don't know, this is going around the country. A lot of my friends have this too, and it seems like, doing a little phthalo blue, it seems like it's just lingered on longer than normal. How's that? Usually I'm over in a week, something. But now I'm on to the turkey tail mushrooms. Now I'm moved on to now I'm into the serious stuff. Cinnamon John told me about these some time ago, and I've gotten, when in doubt, take turkey tail mushrooms in the capsule form. So that's what I'm doing. We'll see if that doesn't work. They came yesterday from Amazon.
We had a question a while ago from one of the newbie guys.
Yeah.
Say they're a newbie. They wanted to know about gesso. Can you make gesso? Do you need gesso? What's the deal with gesso? Another question just came in. Do you have to gesso acrylic paper?
Okay, so let's just start talking about gesso. What is canvas? You got to go back to the beginning. What is canvas? Canvas is a fabric. It's a woven fabric. It's cotton. It's what they've been using for sailcloths for 500-600 years, maybe 1,000 years. I don't know. It's what they make sails out of. Now, if you're a sailor, you know that there's different weights of canvas, and if you're a sewer, you know that there's different thread counts, and you guys know that from your sheet. You know, when you buy sheets, there's 300 thread counts at Walmart, and then there's 1,000 thread counts at, Egyptian cotton whoop-de-doo sheets, right? So again, it's all talking about fabric, but it's all fabric, all right? So then I'm going to tell you as I paint this, we're going to take some burnt umber and a little ultra Dazzling purple, and we're going to paint this like this, cross here like that. And we're not going to be too careful. We're just going to paint our log. All right, so here's the thing. So what you're painting on then is fabric that's been stretched on wood bars. All right. You're going, yeah, okay. And so what does that mean? Well, it means that, have you ever spilled coffee on fabric? On a shirt? What happens? It just sort of wicks into your shirt, goes all over. So what your gesso does is it provides a plastic barrier between your fabric and your canvas so that you can paint on it. So that's what it's for. Now, all canvas now that you buy at the art store that it looks white has already been gessoed. So do you need to do anything? No, you don't need to do anything. They've already done it for you. And while you can buy ungessoed canvas in a roll, they can do it so much cheaper than you can with their machines that unless you were doing some very odd thing, you can buy canvas and roll with gesso on it. So then what you're buying when you're buying it in a roll and you're buying the separate stretcher bar separately is you're buying weight of canvas and maybe a linen canvas or better canvas, but you're still talking about fabric. So then, mostly, if you're a new painter, you never need any gesso. You just don't need it, okay? I got to tell you, you don't need it. Okay, and I'm going to just paint all this dark down here.
Because you're buying canvases that are pre-gessoed.
Because they come with gesso. Now, sometimes we'll sand it, and depending on, what's in gesso, that's anybody's guess anymore. I don't even want to comment on what I think's in it, but but every brand is different. And the reason I always have you pre-paint something is so that how your acrylics bind is they bind molecularly like friends, like hugging friends to another piece of acrylic. So you put a thin layer of paint down, let that bind to the gesso, which has got acrylic in it, and then your next layer is going to bind to this and so forth. If you use a lot of water, nothing's binding. Bottom line, nothing's binding, okay? So see how we painted our little arch here, right? And we painted this, okay? Now we're going to put a little bit of cad red medium in that brown. Come up on this side, make a little reddish brown wall right here like that.
Harley wanted to know, can you add black paint to your gesso to make it black gesso?
Actually, Liquitex makes the best black gesso on the planet. They really do. They've got a black gesso, and particularly where you might want gesso is if you can go to Home Depot, for instance, and they will cut you for free, like at least they did it, last time I went, a big piece of thin masonite board, and you can have them cut it up. They got a machine go slice. It's really cool, right? You have to take the whole thing, but you'll cut it up however you want to cut it up. It's like the size of a sheet of plywood, and then you have to gesso that, right? So then I've used that black gesso on that. That's really nice. Okay, so now I'm going to add a little bit of yellow to this, and come in here like that. All I did was add a little bit more yellow to this. And come across here like this. I want this sort of straight across, but this at an angle. Interesting, right? All right, so this is what I've got for my door so far. And you're going, wow, that was easy. It was, wasn't it? So then what? Well, we're letting all this dry. Let's do something else.
Hey, we'd like to thank Yvonne for the donation. She says, love this channel.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad you guys love our channel. You know, one of the things...
Oh, no, wait. Only Yvonne loves our channel.
Oh, thank you, Yvonne. Well, we know that because she
Absolutely.
donated some funds, right, to the channel.
She told us.
She voted with her pocketbook.
Absolutely.
Not just with her subscription, but with her pocketbook.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate that. How do you do that, by the way, John? How do you vote? How do you do that?
How do you do that? You have a little super chat. You have a little $ under where you can type something, and you can put it. As soon as you click that, it'll ask for how much you'd like to donate, and you can add a comment. We also take donations on the website. The girls have got a new link for you for that. I think I gave that to them. I'm pretty sure I did.
I'll bring that door down a little bit while we're talking.
Well, Wendy has it. I don't know if anybody else. Wendy, you have that donation link that I created?
Yeah, the nice thing, if you donate on our website, then we don't give anything to YouTube. You know, though we appreciate the fact they let us run our videos on here for free. We do that, but, well, of course, they get money from the ads. Trust me, YouTube gets,
30%.
Of the donation, 30% of the donations, and how much do they get for the ads?
30%.
Yeah, so they,
they get 30% of the activity, whereas on PayPal they get 3%.
Yeah.
Your dollars go further.
That's all.
On our website.
All right. So that being said, you see what we've got so far. That was sort of easier than anything else, right?
Just blocking it in.
We're just blocking it in. Now I'm going to take a bigger brush.
What was that one you were using?
This was just a 1/2 inch angle. Oh, no, this was a bright brush. I didn't even use an angle. This was just a number 10 short handle angle.
Oh, shame on you, not an angle.
It wasn't. It was just a bright brush. Incidentally, speaking of angles, one of my students that has been painting for me for a long time and really does well. I mean, she does some paintings you guys are all just so thrilled with. She can't use an angle brush to save her life. I realized that even though she's a really excellent painter, she can't use the angle brush. So on our website this week, we put a brand new video on just how to use an angle brush. We're going to have that, just how to use an angle brush, which is a little different than the bright brushes. Okay, so here's a bright brush. This is a Bristol on number 10, doesn't really matter.
Yeah, this is a little bit stiffer, the Bristol-ons are.
They're a little bit stiffer, but you could be using a ruby satin silver too. That would be okay. I've got one here. That would work too. But they're squared, all right? But, so now we're going to make some paint, take some white into this color that we already had, right?
Going to make some paint.
And then take a little yellow in there. And let's just come down here on our, set a little bit more brown on there. Maybe a little bit more cad red medium. Maybe a little more yellow. A little bit of white. There, okay, a little bit purple. So the purple will kind of gray it a bit. All right, here we go. So we're just going to come on down over this. And the secret with an old building like this, let's put some more white paint in there. The secret with an old building like this is to not have it all be the same color. So every time you mix it, if you change the color up a bit, it'll look older. So don't sweat, but you got to make like lots of different colors. You see what we're doing? We're just kind of going over this. I'm going to take a little bit of cad red medium, a little bit of white, kind of give it a little bit of a peach color. And I'll put that on there too, and then just use the side of my brush very gently to just sort of blend some of that in.
Oh, somebody would like to know, can they send a check for a donation? Absolutely.
Sure.
Our snail mail is in the description.
Yeah, we actually have a P.O. box that we use, but it doesn't say it's a P.O. box, because then they can take stuff.
Is there a reason why Ginger never paints over the chalk when she doesn't?
Well, I'll paint over the chalk eventually.
Yeah.
I'm just, I'm trying to keep away from the wet stuff, so I'm not smearing that. Okay, I'm not going to do any further down than that. Just going to stop here. Now I'm going to put a little more white. I'm going to turn my brush sideways, right? Paint canvas sideways. See what I did? And I want this to be a little uneven because it's kind of old. Okay, there you go.
Isn't it ultimately going to be stone?
And then we'll put some more color with it. But I just wanted to have it a little bit lighter, and then when it dries, we'll put out a little more color with it. See? We'll just keep layering some color in it. But so far, so good, right? Now, wipe your brush. Come under here like this. You've wiped it, kind of got it flat, right? Come across here like this. Let's take a little more paint now. Come across here like this.
Ooh, it's not in the description anymore. Really?
It's not? We don't have it? Oh, all right. So I see.
Thanks, Wendy. We'll put it in there.
Kind of lightening up.
It's on our website.
We're lightening up our stuff. All right, so now let's make it a little bit warmer. Let's take a little bit of peach color to it. There we go, a little bit like that. We're lightening up our... Now, wipe the brush. Come here, brush strokes going across this way. We're going to lighten up this step. Okay, good, yeah. Okay, and now, what else can we do? Well, we've got this brush. This is still kind of damp, but I think we're okay. Let's take some yellow oxide and a little bit of cad red medium, make kind of an orange color. Wipe the brush. Now, just coming straight down here like this, we're just going to make some, indicate some boards on this door. And you want to let the dark brown be sort of your, some of your cracks, right? There you go. Okay. Now I'm going to go a little bit, take some red and yellow and make a little bit of an orange color and add to that. Then I'm going to come in on the inside of this and see, let's make that a little bit redder. Okay, a little bit more red and a little bit of brown with that. That'll make more of a burnt sienna color. Then we're going to come down like this, say that that's this stuff right here. Okay.
I would like to thank Pamela, Caroline, and Devon for the donations that came through PayPal.
Oh gosh, that's so nice. Thank you very much.
And we just had another one come in from, I think her name's Angel.
Oh, Angel, that's nice. Thank you.
Y'all are a blessing. She must be from the south.
All right, so we're going to come across here. See the brush, about the width of this brush, which is as wide as my thumbnail, in case anybody wants to know. And just draw, make a board going across here with the dark paint, right, like that. See? That was easy, yeah? Okay.
Would you recommend Robert Simmons titanium brushes?
I've used those before. They're not bad. They're expensive. I'll tell you what, I don't hate them. And actually, I've used them before. They're the very nicest line of theirs. I've got some. I just really like the Bristol-ons and the Ruby Satin Silvers. I like the silver brush line. I got to tell you, I really like the silver brush line. But those are that's a good brand. When you get into you get into the expensive Robert Simmons, and that's a good brand of brush. Did I answer the question about the gesso?
Yes, I believe you did. We had another question about canvases that are stapled on the sides. What do I do?
You frame them.
That's all you can do.
That's what you do. You frame them. You can't really do much. They don't really do that anymore. Those are the really old-fashioned kind. And sometimes you'll see it on oval. And here's the trick on those ovals. Is that my fish still over there, that oval fish? That's what used to be over there on that thing?
I might have swam away.
All right. So while this is drawing, this is it. Let's make a dark color, okay? Let's just leave all this white stuff alone. Come on, new place. Purple, blue, both blues, little tiny bit of yellow. We're going to make a real dark green, okay? Purple, both blues, and a little yellow. And we're going to come all up here like this. Yeah, there. Thanks, John. And he's got it here. He's going to get the dust off of it. Okay. So we're going to come up here and make all this dark. And this is what a big brush is for. It just sort of takes the time out of doing all this. All right. So this is a round canvas that I bought, okay? And what happened was it was stapled on the sides, and it pulled loose, and you can't really fix it. Can you see the picture?
No, now I have to get back here and back out. So.
Okay.
Hold on there, Bucky.
Yeah, it's just all kind of, it really has to be, it can't be fixed because it pulled loose.
Oh, yeah, we can see that
I tried to fix it. See, it pulled loose from around the sides. This is how it was stapled. So I would say if you buy anything like this, restaple it. Because this was a shame. It's kind of a pretty picture, isn't it? And it totally just got ruined. So what I'll have to do is, I don't know, that's gone really.
We'll repaint.
So I'll do another one. But anyway, that's one of the things you have to worry about. Stapled on the sides, particularly on the round ones, that they can come off, and you want to watch that. Okay, so we're making this dark green color, no white in it. Okay, that's not enough blue in that, too green. All right, so we're going to come on up this far, and then as I come up this far, I'm just going to tap the brush in like this because I don't want to get too detailed at this point. I know I want it all dark green down to here, as close as we are to the door. And then this way. This is all dark green, clear down to the bottom of this. And I know I've got some dark green over here a little bit, but I'm not quite ready to do that. So we'll just put a little of that in, okay? Just because we know it's going to be there. All right, so already you're going, wow, it's almost done. This is cool, Ginger. Isn't this cool? Yeah, so there you go. So now what? Well, we're not done with the door. So I'm going to rinse the brush, and I think I'll switch to a smaller brush now. This is a little angle brush. And we're going to come down with a little bit of yellow and orange and make like kind of a cad red medium. It's like your orange red. Going to kind of make an orange color and pinch the brush after I put the paint on it. Want to come right in here like this and kind of lighten up some of this on the boards. A little bit like that. Lighten that up just a hair. Put a little bit on our ledge. Maybe something here too. Now, I'm going to take that color and add a little bit of brown to it and a tiny bit of white to it. Now I've got this, and I want to come up around underneath here like this. This is dried enough now. I'm going to just kind of straighten out my log. Remember, I wasn't all that careful about how I painted that, but I'm going to come under here like this now and say, here's my log, and I got a little bit of a shadow here. Okay. Come this way. Like that, all right? So now I might just wet the brush, go back to this color, and start pulling some color down like this. Just pull some of that color with a little water on your brush down from the top.
Hey, can we use stucco for this painting, and if so, will it be at the end?
Can you do what?
Use stucco.
Well, you would have had to have done the door and then stuccoed all of this before you did anything else. If you use stucco, this is like a 3-day project.
Because stucco needs 24 hours to dry.
Yeah, this is a 3-day project. Yes, you absolutely could do stucco with this. It would be pretty large with stucco. See, I'm starting to add some more color here to just adding a little white now, and I'm starting to add some more color. This is the trick about layering old buildings, you know. You layer the paint. And like, for instance, let's take a little bit of brown and white, and I'm using these same tones. And then the next layer on the building, and everything's kind of going up and down. Like that. And let's take a little bit of brown, and I'm going to mist my paint just a minute, and I'll show you. I'll mist this. Yeah, stucco would be lovely with this, but it takes 24 hours to dry, and after you did the door, you would have had to have then done the stucco. Okay? And I think in this case, I'm going to, that brush is too small. I'm going to wet a clean brush.
Hey, what's more important, speaking of brushes, good brushes or good paint?
Oh gosh, they're both so important. They're just both so important.
I think we stumped on that
cheap
one.
canvas is okay, but boy, good paint is hard to beat. And a good brush will just, have you ever watched a window washer wash windows in a professional building? It's got one of those squeegees, and I'm going to put a little bit of light color in here now. See, just a little water on my brush, the side of my brush. See how I'm just sort of playing with this stucco? Or not the stucco, but this, well, the wall's supposed to look like stucco, even though it's not. See how easy that was?
Hey, I'd like to thank Eric for the donation.
Thank you, Eric. We really appreciate it. Let's see, what were we talking about?
We were talking about brushes or paint. And then you were doing the squeegee.
Oh, yeah, so the window washer guy, right? And so he's in 3 or 4 swipes, he's washing these windows. Have you ever tried to wash a window with newspaper? That's what's like using a cheap brush is. It's like trying to wash a window with newspaper. And and then you can go to the grocery store and you can buy a kind of a nice squeegee thing for $5 or $6, and then it still doesn't work like the other guys. I'm making this a little darker here. And then come to find out, he's got a $40 squeegee, and you've got a $5 one. So it still isn't as effective. So yeah, your tools are everything.
So you think the tool? You think the tool over the paint?
Well, I can make cheap paint work, but I would still want the color. I want the color. I'm going to darken the top of this a little bit now. Right here. Like
so from what I'm hearing, I'm thinking you're leaning towards the brush first.
Yeah, I'm leaning toward a good brush, because if you can't, just Have you ever heard somebody tell you shouldn't loan someone a pen? That, once somebody touches your good pen, if you've ever had anybody give you a really good pen and they say don't let anybody use it. You've heard that, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
And because they have a different pressure and they push it down and they'll ruin it, and that's talking about a pen. You want to keep your brush out of the hands of your kids.
Your good
or
brushes,
your significant other. Just everybody has their own brushes.
Yeah, there's no way I'd use your brushes.
Well, that's okay, and that I don't mind. But I'm just saying that everybody does things differently, and and then I like to just we're just doing a little bit of a purple and white, and a little bit of yellow, making a little gray color here. And we're going to put a little bit of gray, a little more white here, a little bit of light gray on our log here up at the top. So you're just going to take your angle brush.
We noticed a couple comments that Ginger goes very fast. On the replay and YouTube, you can slow her down.
You can. You can slow me
Play her
down.
at half speed, and you can follow along a little bit easier. You can always pause it.
Okay. Yeah, you can. You can always pause it. Absolutely, you can always pause it. And okay, I mean, just
brushes is the winner. Between the paint and the brushes, go for brushes first.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, if you go to thebrushguys.com, www.thebrushguys.com, and you go to the artist page, and you'll see my page, you'll see Cinnamon's. If you use my name, Ginger Cook, all one word, at the end when you check out,
coupon code.
It's a coupon code. You get 5% off, and I like them because they're
fast and efficient.
They're fast and efficient, and they.
I believe Jerry's is having a sale on the brushes right now, and I've not compared the two. Sometimes Jerry's is cheaper on the silver, but sometimes Brush Guys are still cheaper. So
and particularly, you've got to figure in the code, right?
Yep.
And they have free shipping over a certain price. Okay. So now
we have a donation from Cordelia, I think. Last night you were coaching me in my dreams. I wanted to thank you for inspiring me, even while I'm sleeping.
Oh, it's nice. Okay. Thank you very much.
I hope it wasn't a nightmare with her coaching.
All right, now just going to let this dry for a second. Do you see how nice this is coming out, you guys? Do you see that? And I think I want to kind of arch this up a little more than I had it. You can always change something. Make a little more arch there. I mean, look at how easy this is. I mean, look, we're almost done, see? Oh yeah, let's do a crack. I'll show you how to do a crack.
Almost done.
We're going to do a...
famous last words.
I'm going to do a crack like this. You just make them like
and again, she's
lightning
using
cracks.
That big brush, just using the blade of it.
Just using the last 3 hairs. This is why I like these brushes. A straight brush, it doesn't do that very well. Let's see, let's just bring this down here like that. Now when that dries, I'll show you how to do, kind of add a little highlight to your crack to make it look like it's a crack. Here, stay. All right. Now, okay, so, oh yeah, let's take a little bit of white and phthalo blue, a little bit of brown, a little bit of white, phthalo blue, and brown. And here's the trick here. We're going to put a little handle on the door.
Oops, apparently we have a birthday girl in here. Kim Sim's birthday.
Oh, is it your birthday, Kim Sim? How neat.
Or Kim Song, depending on who you want to be today.
Really? It's your birthday? Happy birthday.
Little did we know.
Yeah, congratulations. It's your birthday. All right. So put a little door handle, and someone says, how did you do the door handle? And this is the door handle, you guys. This is the... Out of my way, you. Line here...
Just one of those big old door handles.
Like a staple, see? Like a long W. Does that help?
W's usually have 2 humps. I'd say maybe a V.
Whatever this is. Whatever that is to you, right?
Probably a U would be good.
Whatever that is to you. But anyway, make something that makes shape. Now the same thing here with the with our... Let's see. Here's our... Still wet, but here's our lantern. The rectangle with a little triangle on top and the bottom. I mean, that's really easy. Take a little bit of yellow and cad red medium, a little bit of white, and just start with a rectangle. That can be drying. I'll put a little of this yellow here like that. All right, good enough, right? All things considered, pretty good. Now take a little more white into that light gray color and come on down next to this crack in a few places and add a highlight. See, if you add just like a little light area, it looks more like a crack, just a little trick. And I think I want a little bit lighter up here too, as long as I'm doing that. Okay, so now here comes the fun part. We got all the stuff done here. Now comes the fun part. We're going to start doing the flowers.
Is everything dry? Do you want to give it a minute to dry and talk about the 6 minute or the 10 minute?
Oh yeah, so we're going to do this 10 minute, here. One of the things we're doing with our 10-minute giveaway paintings is try to introduce you to some of the lessons. We've been on YouTube for several years, and we've got some of the best acrylic lessons out there. I mean, and we really teach you. We don't just tell you to do something. We tell you why you're doing something. Show you the toys you need to have. We limit the number of colors you got to buy. So even if you're buying, for the first time, you're not buying everything in the store, which is kind of nice. So, for instance, one of our lessons that we did a couple years ago was this mason jar, how to do a glass jar with a brush, all right? So I don't know how to do the whole thing, but I'm going to do a glass jar on here.
I thought you were going to show the ones we did last Sunday.
10-minute challenge. That's what our challenge is. But last week we did, just to give you an idea, and these were the ones we gave away. This was done in 10 minutes. These are all videos on our YouTube. This abstract horse. These apple blossoms. I think I've got this, the right way. Yeah. We have this is another one with the vase, and that's a nice big long lesson on YouTube. Let's see. There was a koi fish. I showed, and that's one of our really big, beautiful lessons on YouTube. And how about this with the water? And we had a contest, and we had how many people actually?
40 people got him in time.
40 people actually. We said if you went ahead, besides giving away these on the show, which we did, and we gave away that one the show before. Besides giving away those, we said anybody that did all 6 of these in.
It got them posted.
And got them posted up on our Facebook page, on the club page, by
midnight on Saturday.
Midnight on Saturday, Central Time, that you would win a month of free art lessons on our Art Academy. And we had 40 people win, so congratulations, you guys. You'll be notified.
Yeah, you'll be notified as soon as I got to get a form and everything set up to accept you guys in and make it simple on me.
Okay.
Also, we'd like to announce that our Facebook group is growing very rapidly, and we are going to have a closing on it to people that are not part of our online academy.
So you're saying that funny, John. What he's saying is that right now it's open to everybody, all acrylic artists and everybody that's watching. It's open to everybody that's doing acrylic paintings with my tutorials and your own original stuff. But and we're pretty close to 2,000 members. When we get to we figure that in order for us to comment, sometimes these Facebook groups get out of hand. They get so big that's not fun to be a member of anybody. No one sees your posts, no one comments, and you might as well just be hollering down a tube going, hello, anybody here? I'm an artist. Anybody see my stuff? Did anybody like it? Hello, hello. Did Ginger see it? So we don't want to warm our moderators either, who are so overwhelmed them. So basically we're going to say it at a certain I think we said how many?
4,000.
At 4,000 members, and we've been growing really fast. And then we're going to close it. We'll close it.
Close it to the public.
To the public, and if you're a member of our academy, of course, we'll make sure that you join so you can show us our art. But we want to do it so that it's a fun place to be. You know what I mean? And I think that's a really good idea. All right, so we're going to start with some flowers, but I mean. So join now while the while it's open, because you'll find that I do tips for people. You can send in your painting right now to somebody. You'll have maybe 10 artists look at it and give you some thoughts if you put the capital letters CC, or just tell you they think you're awesome, which is nice to have too, right?
All right, Ginger, we have over 500 people watching.
Oh, I want to thank everybody for watching. Thank you. This is huge. We appreciate it very much. We've covered this before when we talk about flowers, but let's just talk about it basically again. we got the light in this case coming from this way and also from our lantern. So we start with the dark green, and we're going to say that the dark colors go underneath, the light colors go on top. It's not like stars or polka dots, okay? Sometimes I see people flowers and they just do polka dots. No polka dots. It's a pattern, okay? So it's like, you know how you do the letter I and then you capitalize it? Oh, you don't capitalize it. You put a dot, right? You put a dot. Have a letter I.
You're killing me.
You have a letter I and then you put a dot, right? So basically, you've got a dark color and then you put a dot of a light color on top. Make sense? So the darker color, so if you have flowers, it's not just one color, it's two colors. It's the darkest color of the flower and the lightest color is on the top where the light's hitting it. Now that might happen 3 or 4 times, where you've got a dark and then a light on top and a dark and a light on top, and it might go in fingers or something, but you still have that basic pattern. So basically, if I'm going to say I've got some flowers coming in here like this, right? I just want sort of a random pattern. Just going to show you, right? Maybe I'll have some green leaves and I'll have some others up here. So I'm going to start with magenta.
Now you're going to stay in that area. I'm going to zoom in over there.
Zoom in.
No jumping to the other side.
Okay, zoom in.
Okay, go.
All right, so zoom in. So I'm going to take some magenta and I want to make it a little darker. So that would mean, how do you darken magenta? Well, that would mean you need a little ultramarine blue, right? So then I take a little tiny bit of ultramarine blue. Now look, see, that's a darker magenta. See that? I could put a little purple in that too, would make it a little darker. That's pretty tricky. Either one would work, right? Now I'm going to come in here like this using the corner of the brush. And I'm going to I've sort of decided on my pattern, okay? And I'm going to and it doesn't all have to be exactly the same color, don't overmix. And I'm going to put these little dots in here using just the corner of this brush. I mean, it's just really such a neat trick when you learn how to do this. Now, some of you may want to use a smaller brush and you're going to go very slowly and precisely with the dots. Nothing wrong with that.
You want to be more random. Don't be
I'm a little more random, but you still should have it. They overlap, they touch, right? They're on top of the green, okay? And, all right, so then I want some lighter ones, okay? Now I could let that dry, or I could just go into some white, okay, on the brush, and then just hit the top ones like that.
You're doing
see?
it while it's still wet, so it's going to
it's still wet, so then it's sort of making a different color. See, I'm going to say here's some light ones here, and then maybe I'm going to say I've got some light ones here coming down. I'm kind of changing where they are, right? And then a little more white, and I might come up here like this, a few little dots, a little more methodical. And remember, you can go out into with the light ones, you can kind of venture out if you want. Maybe I'll take some bright cad red. Look, that's just the pure magenta now, right? Not the white, but it doesn't have any blue in it or purple. And I might come up here on some of this. And actually, these are... This is a little bit brighter still, okay? Because remember, we're going over dark green.
This is still your angle brush, right?
It's still my angle brush. Maybe I'll put some of these down here. I want them darker, but maybe not as dark as that. So I might come down here because those are pretty dark. So you can play with it, right? And then pinch your brush, come back with a little white. And remember, acrylics dry darker, so you can always come back and touch up a flower or two if you feel you need it.
Basically, it started off with magenta paint.
Yeah, and you just went darker or lighter, but the lighter colors tend to be where the light's catching it on top and the darker ones underneath, okay? Now, moving along, yeah, I'm going to just say that I've got some of these up here, right? But before I do that, I want to do some greens. I guess I'm going to, I've got these here. Let's do this. I'm still in magenta. I want to say I've got some up here. So I'm going to do some little tiny dots. Can you see me?
Yeah,
up here.
I moved.
Up here. Little tiny ones. These are smaller. Don't make them all the same size. If you have to switch brushes, do that. I want some tiny ones up here, some little ones growing over my loggy thing here. And so I just want the corner of the brush to touch this. This is why I love angle brushes. And maybe I've got a few going up here. I'm going to put some other colored flowers. And I've got some coming this way. I'm just into the magenta now. Want to put some coming this way. All right, because I've got some other colors. Now, make sure you're making dots. Now I'm going to take a little pink. And if it's not giving you the color you want, rinse your brush, pinch it, get all the water out. Just start with the fresh white while it's still wet.
Goldie would like to know, Ginger, when you say pinch your brush, are you wiping the paint off?
Yeah, yeah. You bet. Sometimes I'm wiping the water off, and sometimes I'm wiping the paint. You bet. I'm going to say these are a little bit lighter.
She's squeezing it very hard, so the paint is still getting in between the bristles. So
yeah.
It's still in there.
Well, have you ever washed a brush? I mean, how often do you have to run it under water to get all the paint out? My goodness, a lot, right? So we're going to say that this is some of these lighter ones. See what I mean? Coming up on top. Some of our lighter ones. Maybe we got something coming down over here like this. Some lighter ones.
Ginger, have you ever done a collage, and what's your opinion of collage works of art?
I have done collages. Like when you take, different things and kind of glue them on and stuff. And I think that's all art. It can be, and also sometimes, I'll tell you an interesting story. I'm going to dry this, and then I'll tell you a story about that, okay? Yeah, all right.
So
you're going to take a second, and you're going to dry it right now, right?
Okay, hold on one second.
And why are we drying it? Let's just talk about that. Because red and green are complements, and when you mix wet red with wet green, you get mud. This is how your colors go muddy. You can play around with green and yellows and green and blue flowers and stuff like that and be okay, but you start fooling around with colors that are opposite each other on the color wheel while they're both wet and you get mud. Okay?
I'll mute you now. All right, well, she's drying that. We'd like to thank everybody for the donations. We want to make sure you understand on our Facebook, anybody can get into the Facebook now, and it's open for everybody, preferably acrylic artists. Well, that is our focus, as acrylic artists. And everybody that's in there, once we reach 4,000, they'll be grandfathered in, and they'll stay in as long as they stay in. Once they get out, though, they'll be out because we're just going to be letting in the Academy members. And you're back.
Yeah, so I'm going to wipe off I dried it, so in theory I should be able to get the chalk off, right? Ah, see? Chalk's off. All right, now I want to go into a little bit of green up here. So we're going to take phthalo blue and yellow and make what I would call a golf course green. Take a little tiny bit of white with this. And we're going to put a little bit of this bright green on here, just a couple places. And then we're going to add a little bit of yellow to this, a little bit of cad red medium, maybe a little bit of the magenta color, and gray it out, right? And come back, look at the difference. See already? So you grade that out. And let's even go a little bit more blue with that. I want to just come along here and suggest that we've got some leaves now on top of this green stuff that we just did. We just sort of blocked in some green. Now we're going to actually start putting in some little leaves like that. Just got to say that there were some somewhere, right? So this is a vine up here, so we're going to suggest a little bit of yellow oxide in that. See what happens.
We'd like to thank Carmen and Elizabeth for the donations to the PayPal system.
Oh gosh, thank you so much, you guys. Carmen, Elizabeth, that is so nice.
And Francis would like to know, how does Ginger keep her hands clean?
Ginger doesn't keep her hands clean.
No, how does she clean them up, though?
I've got my favorites. These people do not pay me to say this. I just love these things. I have been using scrubby, spongy things for years, you know what I mean, like practically sandpaper to get that stuff off your hands. This stuff, these tub of towel things, I'm telling you what, I found these on Amazon, but I guess Walmart has them, and they're specifically the heavy-duty cleaning wipes. They take dried acrylic paint off an old chair. I mean, honestly, look. I got to show you. Doop, 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 back in here. Stuff. In you go. Look at this. This stuff is so great. And it's got some sort of lotion and it doesn't leave your hands all crummy. I've tried all kinds of things that may leave your hands sticky or icky. And I'm telling you what, I am their poster child for this stuff. Look, it's all on here now.
Isn't that amazing?
I mean, I'm just telling you
No
what.
harmful
I have some in the
chemicals or
bath.
anything.
I have a tub in the. I have a box of those up here in the studio, and then I have one by the shower for what I missed when I get out of the shower, and I look at my arms and I'm going, oh, okay, and then I just clean up before I go out, and then I don't look quite so bad. Glad you asked. I love that stuff. I just tell you, I found
You
that.
would think they would give us some, wouldn't you?
Wouldn't you think so? Well, I've never written them and told them how much I think they're awesome. Never written them a love letter and said, I think you guys are the most wonderful product. But I'll tell you who did see it. Lava saw it. Lava Soap saw the ad, I think, and asked if I wouldn't like to talk about lava. And I'm going, no. Just, not really. All right, see what I did? Now I'm sort of, fixing the edges of this, right? Because like that, here's that. Okay, now we're fixing the edges, and we're going to come over here. Same color. Can we come? You're good with that, John? We're going to come over here and add down here.
I'm staying zoomed out at the moment.
All right, stay zoomed out. Now we're going to come over here.
Oh, thank you, Amber, for the donation, and it's to the art.
Oh, who was that?
Amber.
Oh, Amber, thank you. That's a cool name, Amber, isn't it?
It is a nice name.
That's a nice name. When Cinnamon, I named Cinnamon that because back in, there was this show called Mission Impossible. And remember that? And the lead character's name was Cinnamon, and I thought that was the neatest name. My mother hated it and never would call her that. I'm going to tell you this other story, too, about the other thing. And she just, she really hated it. Now I'm using the same dark green. And I look at my little triangle up here, see? Kind of squared off triangle at the top and at the bottom. And here's my little Ginger Standard Lantern 101. Okay, here's my lantern. I'm sorry, I'm going to wet the brush because everything's dried out a little bit. Now I wet the brush. Now I'm going to pinch it with the paint on it. Now watch. How cool is that? That's
so simple.
So simple. You could actually, now that you know how to do lanterns, you could probably Google lanterns and come up with some really cool ones. I just get lazy, and this one works, so I don't bother. But there's some wonderful lanterns out there, and they're really not hard to do once you kind of got the trick of it, right? Maybe I'm going to darken this. Oh, what was else I was going to darken? Oh, yeah, you want to darken right under your, I told you about the handle? Well, you want a dark line under the handle, like a little shadow. Like that. See what a difference that made? Just put that dark line right there. All right, so then let's see. Oh, yeah, we were putting some stuff out this way, too, some little leafy things, right? So anyway, what was I telling you? There was another story before the break I was going to tell.
There was?
Yeah, don't you remember we were talking about something and I said I would do a story? What was the last question?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you said after the break you'd come back and tell us that.
Yeah, but what was I going to tell you?
We'd have to pause and go back and
I have a senior moment, darling. What was I going to tell you guys? Something good.
I'm sure it was going to be good.
All right, do you see how this is kind of growing up kind of random and it's here, right? It's growing here. And we'll bring a few little things this way to just sort of, I didn't do that in the other one, but we should. A few little of these little guys this way to kind of bring the eye back, right? So you kind of choop. This is kind of an oval pattern.
Why is there a live picture of a man on my screen? It's distracting from watching Ginger. Sorry, it's me.
It's John, because he's there answering questions. And he's there so people have asked to be able to see John. All right, so
it's
now...
collage. Yeah, I made my own collage on the screen.
Oh, collages. Yeah, collages.
That's what it was, see?
The collages. So the question was... How do I like collages? I tell you what, when I was about in ninth grade, my best friend, Ann Popkins from junior high, gosh, I liked her a lot. I admired her. What it was I really admired her. I thought she was just absolutely amazing. And it turned out that she also was artistic. She was an artist. And she made this, besides having the best wardrobe in school, which was always impressive, when you're kids, just... She had a different outfit. My mother told me how to mix and match. So I had a lot of different outfits because you could wear one skirt and maybe 5 tops and a sweater and you could change it up. So I looked like I had a lot of clothes. But when you go to Ann's house, you went to her house and she had every outfit on the planet hanging up separately on a hanger. And she must have had like 50 skirts and 50 tops that all went with it. And, she had her own... We lived in Washington State. This girl had her own sun lamp in her room and tanned. She'd come to school tan, and she had this beautiful kind of bleach blonde hair. I mean, nobody in ninth grade I knew could bleach their, parents would let them bleach their hair, and she had this great bleach blonde hair. It was kind of blonde anyway, but, you know, she'd helped it along. It was impressive. I'm telling you what. It was impressive. And so she made me this, as I'm telling you this, I'm going to get a little light blue now for an accent color, a little bit of turquoise, white and phthalo, right? Pinch it off. See me pinch it off? So she made this wooden door, and she collaged on it. She put like she found this old door, like an old door, or she made it or something, and she took chicken wire, she stapled that all over it, and then inside the chicken wire she had bits of things that meant something to us. I think there were packs of cigarettes, and, well, you have to understand the age we were at, and just different, you know, I mean, I've forgotten now, but it so said, I was looking at it going, that is so who I am, this is so cool, right? And I bought it from her. I said, I have to have that door. She had it in her room. I said, I have to have that door. My mother won't let me have it in the house, but I'll put it in my clubhouse. I had a little clubhouse I was making. It says, I'll put it in the clubhouse. So I paid her $20 for it. And my dad was furious. Oh my gosh, I got in such trouble for buying that. But he didn't understand the great artistic thought that went into this door. She was a good artist. I don't know whatever happened to her. She's ever watching this, because she's got to be my age. If you're ever watching this, Anne, somewhere, I mean, I just thought she was like the best artist ever. And I could paint, but I'm telling you what, she had imagination. Can't beat that. All right, we're going to go up a little bit lighter with some green now. Just add a little bit lighter to the green. Now remember, light's hitting our green too. So look what happens to the leaves. So it's also on top of the leaves too. Does that make sense? And it's not everywhere. We're just doing a few places. We're not doing every leaf we own in here, but just doing a few leaves with some light. I want some light up, kind of up in this area. Maybe a little bit right there. Just some little light green. Like that. And that's all we're doing, okay? Now, again, rinsing the brush. Now we want to go into some orange colors. So let's get a little cad yellow, medium, and some cad red. Let's scoop some of that out and bring it over here. Now, I want to do the same thing. We're going to start adding some orange flowers. So I'm going to dot those on. Maybe add a little bit more cad red to this. Ooh, too goopy.
That's a big goopy.
That was a big goopy. All right, that's okay. This is all going to be kind of solid. I want this a little bit darker. And you know, another color I want is, no, let's just take some magenta and add to that. That'll work. Magenta and add to that orange. Let's come back here and make a little bit darker one. Just a little bit darker red as we go up into here like this. I think I'll pinch my brush because I've got other colors on it now.
Ginger, do you use glazing mediums when you paint?
I like the golden glazing medium for blending on large stuff. It's very nice. I never had used anything like that. It is very handy. I do like it, yeah. See, we're going to cover up the end of this charming thing so we don't have to explain what happened to it. We don't know. It's somewhere over there. I'm going to add a little bit of brown to that orange. Darken it up. Going to come up here and just say there's some flowers up here like that. All right, so far so good, yeah? And then maybe down here a little bit. Let's bring something down this way. All right. And remember, when you're going over green, you may have to do this a couple of times if it just sort of disappears. Depends on you know, people ask about, you know, good paint. Well, it really depends on what you're painting. I think I need to come back up with a little more of the magenta flowers. Bring some more up into here like this. Some more. This is sort of this purple bougainvillea. It's coming up this way now. Just kind of, now I've got a space of where I want to put everything. Putting that up there. A little bit of the light on there on top.
This is a 2-cookie lesson.
2-cookie lesson, but really, when you think about it, you'll see me always pinching the brush and then coming back to the color. When you think about it, because I'm putting it over wet, it really isn't that hard. It's just dots, man. You learned to do dots like years ago. Come back to you. All right, let's take a little yellow oxide now, and a little bit of that cad red medium, a little yellow oxide.
Chrissy would like to know, Ginger, would you do a grayscale painting then glazing it up with color?
We've done that. It's called grisaille. And
it's called what?
Grisaille or grisaille or something. It's just
Is that the,
that's a different style. I am more of an impressionist artist, and that is a tonalist painting. But we have had some videos on that. I'm trying to think which ones they are now. We've had some videos where we've done that. But that's really not what I'm teaching. But that's a good. But there's a lot of different ways to paint something. Okay. All right. Just see here. I'm saying that there's some nice orangey bushes in here like this. Okay.
Orangey bushes.
All right, and then how about over here too? Let's plant some of those over here. Don't you love how you can plant flowers? You know what? Wouldn't this be cool to have this in your own yard? And you know how much time that would take to get this to happen? And you can paint this in seconds. I tell you what, it's much better to just paint a lot of paintings everywhere. Get the feeling of owning a garden and none of the watering. And if you're in snow, I'm really sorry. I've got to say, if you're watching from
the Northeast.
Northeast, gosh, so sorry, you guys. I mean, we got it with the floods in Houston, but you're getting it now, and that's really rough. Really, really rough. And I so apologize that that happened to you.
Why did you do it? Why are you apologizing?
Well, because I want to think.
Did you cause this weather? I'm just asking. Is there something you could have done about it? Do you have more powers than I know?
Yes. And you better watch out. You better watch out because you think Santa Claus has got powers. You have not
you got
seen.
Nothing on me.
You better watch out because I'm telling you what. Just always say yes to me, and you'll be. Then you don't have to sweat it. Don't sweat the small stuff. Just keep saying yes to me, right? Second coat of color up here. It's kind of dried. See that? Second coat of color. See what happens? It's over the greens. The second coat. Yeah, neat, huh? Maybe a little bit in here. A little bit of the brighter red right up in here. Like that.
Tammy would like to know, can Ginger explain the black and white photo a little more and how to use it?
Yeah, Tammy, what happens is that on a grayscale, which we have sitting here, okay, this is your grayscale, okay? So this is basically, when you take a black and white photo, your colors are going to fall into this somewhat, okay? They're going to fall into black or white or one of these colors. Now what happens is that this middle section right here of your grayscale is 90% of all the colors in your art palette. So a lot of times people will just happily put down color, but if you have a black and white, there's no contrast. You know, and your eye wants you. What you're looking for as an artist is contrast. Your eye will go first to the lightest light and the darkest dark. So, for instance, if I put a big white dot here. Where you look at this painting, where's your eye going right now?
Is it a big white dot?
Yeah, so you don't want a big white dot there, right? Because you want that eye to kind of go in this area where the door is, right? You're going to put a dot, right? It's going to be here, where this is. Here, come here. On the door handle, not up here on this dark spot. So when you're painting, you really have to think about where your lights are. Generally, you want your lightest light and your darkest dark, and the most detail and the stuff that's more in focus on your center of interest, not on your peripheral. Okay, so like for instance, the other day on the art club, somebody did a painting of a little boy with some balloons. Okay, and what I tried to explain, and sometimes you get some help from me, the art club, even if you're not a member of my art academy. Sometimes I'll see something, and I'll make a few suggestions. Okay, I'm going to put a few little green leaves here now. Just coming this way. See? I kind of filled that in, and then maybe some little lighter ones up here. Down in here like this. If I'm careful and just touch that, even though the orange isn't dry, I'm getting away with that, right? Okay, so anyway, there was this little boy with some balloons and a path and some fence posts. And what had happened was, and what the artist did was, they did a good job drawing everything. It was just darling, right? But the fence posts were darker than the child. So all your eyes were going to these big dark lines, not to the darkest dark and the lightest light has to be the kid, not the fence posts. And the problem with painting directly from a photograph is that sometimes the photograph, the way the light is, it's not necessarily correct. Does it make sense? Not necessarily correct. Oh, look how close we are to finishing this. Come on, this is cool, right? So, a little bit more of the purple in here. You guys ready for the more purple flowers, little dots?
Somebody's asking, is this from a reference? And if it's not, how did you come up with the colors for the flowers?
I made them up.
And no, it didn't come from a reference.
It didn't come from a reference. I actually found a picture of a door and came up with all the flowers and everything. So, yeah. All right, so now remember a little bit lighter around where the lantern is, right? A little bit lighter on top.
Debbie says, I love how your paintings look so complex, but you make them so easy.
Well, they are. They're dots. They're dots, and I think the thing that this is terrible. Should I share this with you guys? This is terrible, but
don't tell anybody. This is a secret now.
This is really terrible. But the problem, if people understood how easy it was to paint, they wouldn't give you a lot of money for it.
So don't tell anybody.
So when you find out, just make people think this was really hard. For God's sakes, don't tell them it was easy. Oh, it took me months to do this. Don't tell them you just watch one of my videos and pop this out in an hour. Never tell anybody how long it took you to do something. You can't get paid for something if it took you too long to do it, because nobody cares if you're incompetent or just not good at it yet. But if you fit, I'm not trying to be mean, but that's true. Everybody wants to get paid by the hour, but don't do that. But on the other hand, a doctor can take your appendix out in 10 minutes, but he doesn't charge you by the hour. He charges you the fact that he's got $1 million medical loan somewhere, and you're help paying that off. Okay,
that's the bottom line.
The bottom line is, so people. So when you're selling your paintings, at least get. We're gonna put a little orange in our lantern now. Like, good, right? Isn't that cute? And now here was the secret. I was going to tell you secret stuff. This color is called Naples yellow.
Great color. Great color.
One of the things you can do is you can go right out of the tube with this. Now look, I want some lighter yellow ones. Remember the lightest light and the darkest dark? I want a few light yellow ones. Maybe something up here. Maybe something right here in the lantern.
See, she's pulling you into the doorway with these lights.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Pulling into the doorway with the lights. And then I might take some yellow.
No, let's not put a cap back on that.
Yeah, here's some pure yellow. Do you like how I'm going right out of the tube? Kind of Russian roulette here. And here's some brighter yellow. This is cad yellow medium, right? And we're just saying that down in here, some a little bit lighter, and then up in here, just a hair.
Hey, we'd like to thank Michelle for the donation.
Oh, yeah, thank you so much. I want a little bit of yellow right up in here.
What size angle are you using, 3/8?
Yeah, 3/8.
3/8 angle.
See, now look.
That's her go-to brush.
See a little bit of yellow in here. Now, maybe a little bit of, let's put a little, like, yellow right here on the steps. Okay.
You see what she's done? She's focused you right down into the doorway. That's sneaky.
And this line brought your eye down.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm telling you, this would be a really pretty painting large. I mean, it's 8x10, but this would be really stunning big.
And we're counting on Eric to do it big for us.
Eric's going to do it big. We told him how, right?
You can do stucco on it.
So this is the kind of thing that, you can really, sink your teeth into when you're learning to paint. And when you're doing something like that, the trick is, and if you got carried away and you got too many dots, what you can do with you can go back with some green paint and, poke a few holes in your dots if you got nuts. If you went nuts on me, all right? Or if you need to put a few little
leaves,
little tiny green leaves coming down like that.
Here's a good question for you. Sherry says, but I tried the dots on a big canvas and it didn't look good. So how does it work on a big canvas?
Well, if you go to my old website, which we can no longer update because the program that I did,
we
can't update it. But you'll see, I've done this on huge canvases. I've done this on. You just make the dots a little bigger.
They have a little bit more detailed in them, though.
Well, no, really, they don't.
Really?
Huh. They don't, but I use gels and stuff to make them stand out. I'll use gels and they come out and they stick out of the canvas. I've got a video on YouTube on how to do that too. All right, so then maybe what I'll do is I'll just take a little bit of a light color now, some sort of little light peach color, and I'll put a little yellow with it, right, like that. I'm going to just pinch the brush, right? And I want to come in here like this, and here's my next light, like that, coming next to here, like this, going to lighten this up, and maybe just a little bit in the doorway here, like that. So, I mean, you can play with this. And then, let's take some pure cad red medium.
Is the Naples light Is that Naples yellow light or a regular hue?
It's it's Naples yellow light, but hue would be fine too. You just want a light yellow, any old light yellow, right?
And you can't take your CAD and add white to it?
Well, let's see. Let's see. What could you take your CAD and add white to it? Because did you know that you can't make CAD yellow light? You can't add white to CAD yellow medium and make CAD yellow light. I've got a great video on adventures in yellow on YouTube that tells you what you can do with all the yellow.
That's
all right, so here's white and just CAD yellow medium. All right, well, let's do some over here. It's close, not as bright, but close. It'll work at a pinch. I mean, who's going to know? No one saw this one. Right? Yeah, you're right. You can do it. Add white to it. There you go. Try that. But still pretty, right?
Her original website was gingercookstudios.com.
Yeah. Look at those, and you'll see some of my bigger pieces. They were all huge. You know, and done like that. Just a little bit more brush. There you go. All right, you guys, and I think I want a little bit of a darker something right next to this light here, like that. All right. So that you guys is how we did this painting. Don't you think that was fun? I mean, I'm going to move this out of the, well, I won't, but I'll bring this down here like this.
Okay. You just put one on top of the other.
See, like this, there's this one.
Yeah.
Then, you know, I mean, I think I got pretty close, don't you?
Yeah.
I mean, this wasn't tricky. It looked tricky. People will be very impressed when you paint it. But I got to tell you that, you know, one of the things that we invite you to do on our gingercooklive.gallery is we invite you to come over. We have over 300 lessons, and we start you with the very basic stuff. Just never picked up a brush before. Really learn how to use your brushes. This is one of my favorite ones that, you know, just from one of our old dead artists that we featured, you know, doing glass. Now, it's not that much different than this glass jar I did, is it?
No.
Except it's in greens, right? So today for our giveaway, we're going to do a glass jar, and I'm going to move this. Is that okay with everybody?
Yeah, you can move that.
Okay. I think I want to take a little yellow oxide. See, it's dried now.
Thank you, Janet, for the donation.
Look what happens with a little tiny, just pure yellow oxide on the top of this.
See, that works.
Look at that. See, I'm talking about the lights coming down on top. So kind of let things dry and see where you have to pop it. It's pretty, right? And why does this work? Someone said, why did the colors work? Well, you guys, you have a cheat sheet. You've got a color wheel. Purple and yellow are complements. So if you, even with the magenta next to this kind of yellow, that's pretty, see?
Eye candy.
Yeah, it's sort of, you know, just, it's a thing. Did you know, for instance, that manufacturers have figured out, I mean, the science of color, there is a science of color. They can get you to buy anything if the color is right. If you don't know anything about a product in a grocery store, you will buy, and you have a choice of two different things, you'll buy the red one. Did you know that? So if, you know, artists, if you have a tiny bit of red in your painting, if you're selling something, it's more likely to sell. Isn't that funny?
Okay, before you begin, we had a question.
Yeah.
What do you mean when you say CAD yellow medium? What does the medium mean?
Well, it's on the box.
Well, there's three CAD yellows.
There's CAD yellow medium and CAD red medium, and CAD, it's cadmium. It's not CAD. It's the full name is cadmium. Cadmium is the junk that makes the color.
The junk.
It's your pigment, and that's what they call it. How's that? It's what they call it. You know, the dioxazine purple is that, dioxazine, Dioxazine is the purple I use. I guess dioxazine is the stuff that goes into the purple. Where's that artist's handbook? There's this artist's handbook that's like about this thick, and sometimes paint companies, and I will say this to you, sometimes paint companies, like lipstick companies, just make up names for stuff, and then you're going, well, what's this? And you don't know, but they have to tell you the ingredients in it somewhere on the tube. And that artist's handbook is the encyclopedia of everybody's brand of stuff and you know, what it is in Liquitex and what it is in Matisse and in watercolor and oils and acrylics. And if you really care about that stuff, you know, you can look it all up.
Okay, we're going to get ready to do a 10-minute, well, not we. Ginger's going to do a 10-minute painting. We're going to give a giveaway. Mona and Tanya have a link that they can use now. I don't know if Wendy saw that link. Guys, put the link out there, and we will get that started. It's going to go to Fradav. I always mess up her name, but thank you for the donation. Thanks for the tutorials. I enjoy them. You guys have the link? Otherwise, I'll have to find the link.
Can I just be...
Yeah, we're going to get you started.
I'm
Amazon, give me a Ginger timer for 10 minutes. You're off and running.
Well, I'm off and running, you guys.
All right, she's got 10 minutes to do that. Anybody got the link out there, or do I have to come up with it? I made it simple. Oh, let's see when I made it.
I never have paper underneath this stuff. I always want paper, and then I never have it. You ever notice that? Because I don't like to smear it all over the table.
I don't know if you've got the right link there, guys.
Well, we'll take our time. Everybody's going to be all right. We'll just make sure that they're fine, right?
No, that's not the right link.
All right, don't panic. I'm painting this. We'll get you stuff. We'll make sure everybody gets into the link. I'm just going to paint this while we're talking, right? Fill in a little club space here, all right? You guys are good with that, right?
Yeah, we are.
So let's just...
Oh, the secret word, glass jar.
Glass jar is the secret word. Good.
It's gingercooklive, not .com, .gallery giveaway.
Okay.
Gallery / giveaway. Secret word is glass jar.
Secret word is glass jar. Is that right?
Yep. Well, some people are getting it to work. I'm seeing them come in.
Okay, good. It's good to get things to work, right?
gingercooklive.gallery / giveaway. Secret word is glass jar, and she's off and running.
Okay.
We'd like to thank everybody that joined us today. You do need to be present to participate in this giveaway, because we will announce the winner, or we'll get a number from Miss Lady over there. Word glass jar. Glass.
You know, we appreciate you guys. We thank you for hanging in there and watching, and we appreciate the likes and the thumbs up and the fact that you're subscribing. I assume some of you are, right?
We hope some of you are.
You know, that would be just peachy keen if you were, right?
Peachy keen, I like that.
Do you remember those? You know, you got to be.
You got to be what? Don't say it.
Well, you've got to be the certain generation to get some of these terms,
that's a
right?
nice way. Now that's a nice way to put it.
Right? Don't you think that's a nice way to put it?
That's a nice way to put it.
Certain generation to appreciate some of the.
Why did you change your name to name? Because I have 3 of those devices next to me. All 3 have a different name. If I say it to one of them, it says it to all of them. And then I kept using that name, and you guys' timers were going off. So my new tablet can be called the company name.
How did you do that?
It's a setting in the tablet. You can have a choice of 2. 2 names on her, that's all.
Really?
Yes, we're going to a Google document. We're going to torment Google instead of our own website. And it seems to be working. We have 158 participants so far. Becky would subscribe 100 times if she would, but she can only do it once. Thank you.
We appreciate that very much, Becky. And I hope you're going to come over and hang out with us on our Facebook page.
Do get involved with the Facebook page because you'll be grandfathered in once we reach our 4,000 and just leave it open for our Academy members.
This way, this is a really nice place to share your artwork. Not everybody, yes, you can, you're going to get, other artists that are going to be able to tell you nice things about it, right? I mean, it's a very nice thing, I think, to be able to do. I'm going to do something a little different here on this one. How much time do I got left?
I know that answer. 5 minutes.
Oh.
How you feel you're doing?
Well, I think I'm doing okay.
I think you are too. Last short secret word. The winners from last week's 6-day contest, or 6 paintings, will be going out Monday.
How did I lose all my
colors? Got them all shellacked. Joined in from India is 3:30 a.m.
Really? Wow.
Thank you. We appreciate you staying up or getting up, whichever the case may be.
Oh, we do. We absolutely do.
We have quite a following in India.
Do we?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
That's
The word is glass jar. I remember hearing cat's pajamas. My dad said that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so...
Gaz, you have the Facebook page link that's working? John Sleeping Bear would like to have it.
Well, that's the wrong brush.
It wasn't an angle brush.
No. I kept going, why isn't this working? That's the wrong brush, right? Isn't that funny how you just know? You'd make 2 strokes and you go, well, look at the difference. Look at the difference between that and a bright brush.
I have been watching your video to paint lately. I would love to share my work with you. I love your style. What do you call it?
Well...
Romantic...
Impressionism, I suppose, right?
Romantic Impressionism. If you'd like to share your work, join our Facebook group.
Yeah, join our Facebook group. Okay, so I'm going to just...
We're up to 214 people entered so far. Remember, no matter where you are in the world. They won't let you open up... Oh, they won't let you open up from chat anymore?
Who won't?
I don't know, our links. John, you left off the HTTPS stuff. Well, you have to have the full... Yeah, the Judy should work.
I don't understand. What happened?
The Facebook didn't take my link.
Why not?
Not Facebook. Well, who knows? It's weird. Wendy and I were trying to figure out the other night that hers would work sometimes and mine would work sometimes, but not all the time, either one of us.
Well, it's so funny. We're practically all just wet wired to the computers anymore. You know what I mean? It's practically
wet
just
wired. What exactly does that mean?
I just tell you that's where they
wired. You don't put water and electricity together. What are you doing? What does that mean, wet wired?
Well, what it means, John, is that we are so dependent.
Wet wired. I've never heard that term.
We are so dependent. Well, you don't read enough science fiction. This is where in the future people just have implants for their internet. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's what we need.
And it's called being wet wired in, right? And which is
wet wired. Okay.
It's called being wet wired in, and I think that you just I don't know, maybe you'd swallow the updates. I don't know, but I think at this point we're all so dependent. I say this because I think at this point we're all so dependent on the internet, right?
You can't function without it.
No, we really can't. I mean, we are just so dependent on that. Note to self, don't push the paint down that much.
Did you dry that?
No, I just did Russian roulette with this.
I was going to say, you gambled that one.
I did, didn't I? I
You did a
gambled
great
this
job.
one.
Look at that. Did you guys see how she put that brush in there so quickly? Artist tape.
Yep, artist tape.
Now, I believe that the full tutorial is, what, a half hour to an hour? Probably an hour?
Yeah, full tutorial's like an hour. Right? Sure, full tutorial's like an hour. And I just used one of my brushes for an example of how this might work. Put a little paint on it.
The ginger timer is done.
Well, Ginger's still painting, so just bear
All right,
with
we're
me.
going to keep taking entries.
Yeah, keep taking
Amazon?
entries because Ginger's still painting.
Off.
Okay, this Ginger's still painting a little
Yeah,
bit.
she did pretty good, though. For 10 minutes, that's not bad. She came real close on this one. You do have to be present when we announce the winner's name. I need you to go to the chat in all caps, say, I am here, I am here.
But I
are
think
going
that's a
for it.
great example of how you, you know what I mean, how you use tape to get straight lines. Don't you think so?
Oh, absolutely. You know, why use the tools you have available. The tape was used for making straight lines to make the brush. Carolyn's asking that one. You have to rewind this one, Carolyn.
Yep. Tape was used to straight lines to make the brush. And you'll see me constantly putting paint on the brush. I rinse less because I don't use
Water.
water. I'm using paint, pure acrylic paint. Okay. So if I'm using water to rinse, but a lot of times I'm just wiping off the color, right? As much as anything.
Wiping off the color and reshaping the brush blade.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Reshaping the brush. And one of the secrets is if you go in front of something, you go in front of the brush to make it look like it's there, let's put some paint on it, right? That was good too.
Kim Sim, this is a 10-minute painting. There is no refraction in a 10-minute painting.
What's that?
Your brush should be shifted over slightly to the left.
Well, it should be.
In the
It
glass.
should be. It should
But
be.
this is 10-minute. In 10-minute, they don't. It doesn't have time to shift.
We don't. We're just putting it in here, right, you guys?
There's no buffering or no transmission problems on our side, guys. It's a clean whistle this trip.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, you know what I mean? That's let's see, where's our other paintbrush here? Something, I use this one. So yeah, this is what we did. Just play with our background colors a little bit because I like some colors in here. I like this to be arty, right?
All right, we're going to be closing the entries very shortly.
We're closing the entries, right? We're just all
We're
done?
going to turn off the form.
Yeah?
Give you the last couple seconds to get them in.
Yeah, come on, you guys. It'll be fun. We're just I'm just kind of playing with my background a little bit.
All right. No more entries
All right,
are
no
being
more
accepted at
entries
this
as I keep
time.
painting.
It's
and
over.
I'm just
Over for entries. And
over
we'll
for
tabulate.
entries. Just make more of a shadow here on this one. More of a shadow. What am I out of colors? There we go. All right, so John, who's won this thing? And I'm going to just take a minute and dry it and sign it.
Do you want to pick a number or do you want my lady to pick a number?
How many numbers? How many numbers is it?
1 through 250.
1 through 250. Really?
Yep.
I'm going to pick 111.
111 is a lucky winner. 111, the 111. Sherry Renee.
And I'm still painting on your thing, Sherry.
Sherry, how do you spell Sherry? R-Y, Renee, N-E. Oops, wiener.
Sherry Renee,
are
all
you
right,
out there? You got a response, so I know you're there. Please
Yeah.
stop saying I'm here. Yeah, stop doing that. I just need to see Sherry.
All right, stop doing. Yeah, Sherry, did you? Are you here?
Sherry, that's not the same last name, Sherry. How do I know that's really you? What's the first part of your address, your email address, Sherry? Because she has a different name on her screen name, which we all do. I mean, I'm Sammy.
Yeah, we get it.
I really appreciate you guys participating in this. These are fun to do. Ginger enjoys doing them.
I like doing them, and as long as you keep letting me play here, I'll just keep playing, right?
Well, Sherry Renee, go to our website and please give us your mailing address. GingerCookLive.gallery. Contact us. Ginger, what are you signing that with?
A Posca pen.
Well,
Probably should have dried that a little more, but I didn't. There you go.
That's what happened to the last tip I had to clean off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, life is short. I didn't have time to dry it. Put my little red slash through it. There you go.
All right.
I like the red in here where the paint's.
Yeah, you too.
Don't you like that where that you've been cleaning the brush?
Yeah.
There ought to be some paint. If we were really going to do this right, there ought to be some paint coming down over the edge of the jar too.
Well, yeah, if you had anything to do with it, absolutely.
If it was my jar, there'd be paint on the dumb jar, right?
Yes.
All right, let's just have fun with this, Sherry. You get an original piece here. A little bit of paint on the jar and maybe some paint down here on the ground too. Why wouldn't there be, right? There would be in my little world, right?
How did we find the winner so fast? When you guys entered the form, it goes into a spreadsheet, and I give Ginger the numbers between how many entries we had, and Ginger picks a number. The number lines up with a name, and it was Miss Well, there she is, her full name. I go by either of those names. You go by all kinds of names, I see.
All right, Sherry, there's your painting.
Hope you like it.
Hope you liked it. This was our glass jar. If you guys want some more detailed stuff on how to do glass besides this video on YouTube, which I highly recommend you watch, go to our website. Look at some of these. This was done by one of these old dead artists 100 years before Van Gogh. And look at all the beautiful colors that's in this, with the purples and the greens and so forth. I mean, there's a lot of different ways to create stuff. Some real simple ways and some more complicated ways. So I invite you to try that. Tomorrow, we're going to be live at 7:30, and we're going to do a 6x8 canvas. This is what we're going to be doing tomorrow. These water lilies.
And what color is the background if I want to paint
Dark
along?
green. Just dark green.
Really?
Dark green like was on this painting here. This dark. Yeah, just do it real dark, and you'll be in good shape.
Okay.
And that's what we're going to be painting tomorrow. Isn't that pretty? And, all right, so this was fun. We thank everybody for hanging out with us. We appreciate you guys very much. And glad to ask, if you have any questions you would like answered on the show, use the contact us on our website, gingercooklive.gallery, and write us and say, I'd like you to answer this on the show, maybe even demonstrate what you're talking about. Sometimes it's easier if I can show you something rather than write it. So it's a thought.
Just a thought.
And then remember to become a member of our Facebook club because we're going to do some private videos just for our Facebook members too.
They're going to have some, and we got all kinds of plans for the 2018 season.
Perfect.
Anything else you'd like to say, Ginger?
No, I want to thank everybody again for coming. And
Thank
again,
you
I want to
again for all the
apologize. I'm
donations,
so
too.
sorry for the storm in the east. I know you don't think that I have any kind of power, but I just still say I'm sorry. How's that?
Okay.
Okay?
Are you done playing?
No. You know me, I can sit here, play all the time, but this was fun. All right.
All right,
you
everybody.
guys. Night.
Thanks for joining us, and we will see you tomorrow, 7:30 p.m. Bye, all.
Thanks, everyone. Night, Sammy. Night, John.
Good night, Ginger.
I'm a student, I say with glee, of Ginger Cook's Academy. Take your time and do not rush. Use ruby satin, silver brush. Don't use black and mix the green. Learn what blend and grayscale mean. Yes, I hope each day to earn coaching praises as I learn. I'll be an artist, wait and see. Ginger means the world to me.